every Friday, I think there was the like Mark Zuckerberg would go to this auditorium, and then all the employees could go there and would have like an all hands there, and we could ask any questions to him. So that was really interesting. Sheryl Sandberg would also go as well. Um, and Yeah, actually, Mark Zuckerberg was like working in the same building as me. Like you could walk for like 5 minutes and you'd be at his desk, although he would um, very rarely be there. But Yeah, I mean, overall, it was a really cool experience. A lot of really smart people. Um, Definitely learned a lot. One thing, yeah, one thing that I really enjoyed, which is something that I just mentioned, is that the people there are really interesting. So one thing that I decided to do um, was to just randomly go eat with someone new. I would go to the cafeteria, grab my lunch or dinner, and then see someone who was, sitting alone. I would just sit next to them and ask if I could, sit there and just chat with them. And I would, get to meet someone almost like every day. And I actually learned a lot from them. There's a lot of things that you can learn from just like just chatting with like random people at Facebook. And Yeah, that was a really cool experience. In fact, I think I've said this for a while, which was that I found the one of the most interesting people that I've ever met was at Facebook by doing this thing, um, by just like like randomly sitting with someone and start talking. Um, and it was this guy who he worked at NVIDIA, and he was one of the first people to develop like parallel algorithms to work on GPUs, which is like the what is one of the things that is powering like machine learning and deep learning, which is a really hot topic right now. And Also, he did like he worked full time for Intel and worked and did like a super hard masters in like statistics at Stanford full time. So he did full time that and full time work at Intel. So this guy was in another level. Um, Yeah, he was just a really interesting guy. Learned a lot from him. Sometimes I still talk to him, but so yeah, it's cool that you can there's so many really smart and interesting people with very interesting perspectives and different paths to how they got to Facebook, right? So I think this is one of the advantages. I'm not just Facebook, of course, but like these big, really prestigious tech companies. There's just a lot of people that you can learn a lot from and get really cool perspectives from.
Yeah, I mean, I'll never forget when we were coming back from work together, trying to get on the same train. This is something that you told me about that you were planning, and I started incorporating as well, just sitting next to a random stranger, and it's honestly insane how you meet people who've been working at Intel or Facebook for 5, 10 years. Then you'll meet others, maybe not Facebook's case, but who've been working there for 30, 40 years, and it's just such a crazy cohort of brain power and just stories. I remember one of our good friends from our high school too also was working at Facebook. His manager was not only a Facebook engineering manager, but he would perform at the San Francisco performance theater. I don't know what it would be called, but he was like in all these musicals. And the guy works full time managerial position at Facebook. So a lot of interesting characters. I remember shout out to our friend Akaki. We met him on the soccer field in at Facebook. Also, very interesting guy. He was working with Instagram from MIT. So I think the cohort of interns also is something very cool that Facebook fostered well, right? Because you guys were not only living together, but you could also hang out. They would host events. I remember Akaki was telling me that you guys went to like water parks together or to I don't know, to some retreat, and so I think they mastered the how to treat the future talent, and that's something that we want to showcase to the world with Vue, which is how these companies are showing how much they really value the people who are putting in the work and studying a lot.